All right, we're back with episode 31 of the Malapert Smart podcast. Thank you for joining us, whoever out there has bumped into our lowly show. I got Vlad, the wrestling expert, on with me. The classic lineup of just you and me, the original lineup from the first episode. Say hello, Vlad. Let's introduce you. You go, please. Say hello.
Hello, everybody out there that appreciates wrestling talk and appreciates the work that Kayhan specifically puts in to get this show out there every week.
Well, I don't do that much work, but I do. I hope there's someone out there that this is useful to, just to give like a few minutes of entertainment. It's better to listen to somebody talk sometimes than to just be in dead silence in your own headspace. So if you guys could get a pair of headphones, wireless earbuds, and listen while you're working, maybe if you're a security guard, that would be a good time to use us, watch the wrestling shows, and come listen to our reviews afterwards. But I've been looking forward to this show today. I'm had a bad week, went through another breakup. As you know, Vlad is my friend off the air too, so we've already talked about this. I don't want to go into it, but extra pissed off, a little extra pissed off this week, and I'm gonna take it out on AEW. I'm gonna take out everything. I'm gonna lay it into them. We're gonna go through Collision today. We're gonna go through Dynamite. We're gonna go through Collision from Saturday, Dynamite from Wednesday, and we're gonna pick it apart the way they don't want us to. We're gonna go scene for scene. But other than that, how's your throat, Vlad? I know you had a little health scare couple weeks back. Is that all clear or what? How's that working?
I mean, I didn't do anything with my tooth, but it seems like my throat is okay. So it seems like I'm just going to let it ride and see what happens. So, yeah, eventually I might still have to get my wisdom tooth. Because it's impacted, might have to get it surgery.
That's the source of this whole fucking thing? Your wisdom tooth? Man, that sucks. But that's believable. I could believe that.
Well, yeah, it could cause an infection, but I don't think it did in this case because I was better the next day, but I was feeling something in my throat. I don't know. Whatever.
Well, get this for a hypochondriac one, man. Like this morning I woke up and I guess I've been doing it not just this last night, but regularly, I guess. I sleep. For some reason, my calf muscle like tightens up while I'm sleeping, and I don't realize this. So it's all just tight the whole night, I guess. Maybe it's like just all my tension or stress or whatever. And then when I wake up and I move it just a little bit just to do something normal, and then I pull it. Like I literally pulled my calf sleeping. Because it's been tense and stuck this whole time, and then suddenly I wake up and I want to just move my leg a little bit, and I'm like, ah! right when you wake up, you're I'm completely in pain, and then you're just I literally got injured in my sleep this morning as soon as I woke up. The instant I woke up.
I've never heard of straightening your calf sleeping. That's the first.
I know. When you're getting old, man. When you're getting old,
I know this is. I know we have a lot of wrestling stuff, but how are you sleeping that your legs are in these weird positions or something that you're like? Why is it so tense? Why specifically your calf?
I don't know why my calf is all tense. I just it's just like I don't know why. I don't know why.
You sleep on your stomach or on the side or how do you,
I sleep on the side usually. I go from one side to the other side to the other side. So. But I don't think that has really anything to do with it. It's just I don't think about it. It's not consciously happening. Like it just happens at some point while I'm sleeping. But
yeah,
that was a new one this morning.
Yeah.
But anyways,
I've never heard that before.
Yeah, I just wanted to give you that tidbit. But I've been looking forward to hanging out with you today, Vlad. I've been all depressed and pissed off. So let's do this. Well, before we get into AEW, and I'm gonna be extra Malapert today. By the way, if the fans don't know what Malapert means, it means a disrespectful little punk, basically, is the way I would put it. Someone who's not willing to show respect to someone who's higher up than you. In our case, people in the wrestling business who've been there, done that. We're just two Joe Schmoes, but we're going to rip on this shit today like there's no tomorrow. And just for my own amusement. Join the party. Let's all just rip on bad modern wrestling. But before I want to get to our AEW reviews, I want to talk about a couple topics, I guess. Usually I have a main topic or a main thing that happened in wrestling from the week to start the show because I just want to start off the show hot, you know? But we don't have one of those this week. It's kind of a lame week in wrestling. It was all right. We'll talk about some of the stuff that happened. But I want to talk about CM Punk just because he disappeared out of the news a little while back when he got fired. But it's been a few weeks since all that has kind of boiled over and, you know, settled down. But we don't have any news about whether he's going to be going to WWE. We hear rumors about him possibly at Survivor Series because it's in Chicago. We don't have any real sources. Okay, we don't claim to be a news reporter or a wrestling reporting website or something. We're just guys who watch the show and talk about what we think of the show. But we get a sense of the wrestling business and the goings-on in the back, right? We have a little sense of it. So I guess that's just what I want to ask you. At this point, it's October 20th. Survivor Series is coming up, I guess, at the end of November. Or whether it's Survivor Series or not or something else, what is your gauge at this point, at this minute, about what people are saying and whether he's going to make the jump and they'll take him back? WWE will take him back. Triple H, that is. What do you think, Vlad?
I don't know, to be honest. I mean, I'd like to see it. You know, I'm a fan of Punk. I love his work. I think he's a very good worker. He's obviously very skilled on the mic. So he's got the total package as a wrestler. Like everything you kind of want. He's an interesting character. Like I said, puts on good matches. Very believable. So I don't know. I'd like to see it, but obviously there have been some talk of like WWE might not be interested. You know, I've read that. Who knows what the truth really is? Who knows what's really going on? I'm hoping that they can mend some, I guess, you know, just mend some bridges or, you know, and just get back to some sort of working relationship, and then they could just, you know, work together and because it will make them money for sure, but you know, I don't know if they have to I don't know is I guess my point, because there's a lot of guys that supposedly have feet with him that are in the top spots. Like, I guess Seth Rollins, they're saying. It seems kind of dumb because in the old days it wouldn't have even been a discussion. It made, as long as the guy wasn't a psycho and it made sense financially.
But that's the issue. He kind of has been known to be a psycho in recent times, and even when he was there, he kind of burned bridges, and they're just like, I'm kind of getting the sense that Meltzer report that they just don't want him back is kind of true. I'm starting to feel that way, personally. It's just my personal gut feeling that I think they just rather not have the headache. Yeah, it's good for business, but business is all right. There's no like real. If there was like a dead spot, or maybe a couple of baby faces were out, or they needed somebody in particular, like if some guys got injured. But at this point, they seem like they're doing fine, and they don't want the headache. They don't want him coming in, trying to twist his creative around or disagreeing with what they want him to do. They're just like, nah, forget this guy. And I might be wrong, but I'm getting the sense that it's over. So.
I think it's possible, yeah, that they might not want him back, and I agree. I said that's a possibility, but I just want, as selfishly for my own views and my own wrestling, beliefs. I'd like to see him come back to WWE, have one more run, and see what comes with it. Now, yes, you're right. You could say that he was quote unquote psycho in AEW, but was he the psycho, or was just that whole environment psycho? You know, I don't know. Sure, he had some beeps in WWE, but I don't remember him ever having to having fights backstage, or he probably had some stuff goes on regularly but nothing like he had in AEW. I mean, AEW was a totally different animal, and I think it's more that environment is quote unquote psycho more than Punk is psycho, in my opinion. That's just my opinion, though.
That could be true, but we do still have the whole thing about him not getting along with the writers and that being an issue. So I think
Sure.
they're just like, we don't really need this guy to come in and start stirring shit up and causing trouble. It's a creative issue. He probably wants. Sorry, but I think he wants to be high up on the show. Maybe they're not going to give him all that, especially considering how he left. I don't think they're going to bring him back as, the hero that, I don't know. I don't see how they could do it. I don't see how they're not going to give him everything that he's wanting. He's going to want to look good when he goes in there. I think they would take him back if he would be just like accept the role of being a mid-card guy and have a good attitude about that. They'll probably take him. Right. But I don't see it happening. Personally, I don't think it's going to happen. I think they got too many things going on, the Roman thing and Cody and they're leading to and everything else. I just think they don't want to throw a wrench into what they've already got going on, stuff that they've planned for too long. But yeah, who knows? Maybe someday. But also he can't do the work. Like WWE would probably want him to work a little more, do house shows and stuff. He can't. He can't. He's old, But anyways, let's move on from Punk, unless you have anything to say.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm sure he could work out some sort of deal where he doesn't have to do house shows. I don't know how many house shows Cody's doing or how many house shows Roman is doing. I'm sure he could work out some sort of deal. He doesn't have to do a lot of house shows. It's
CM Punk, dude. CM Punk is desperate for a job. They're not desperate for CM Punk. He wants to go there because I don't think he wants his career ending at AEW, getting fired.
Absolutely, I agree with that part. I don't think he's like. It's not like he's desperate for money, but he's also. I'm sure he's desperate for, as you said, the way his career ended in AEW is not very attractive, right? It's not the way you want to be remembered going out, and he'd like one more run with the big time, at the big time. So yeah, I agree, but I'll agree with you in principle that there seems to be some problems with it, and it might not happen. But let's just see how it all develops, I guess.
All right. So the second story I wanted to talk about was Vince McMahon, because I don't know if you heard that he's out of creative now, out of as not involved in creative at all. I guess they handed it over to Triple H. So the thing I wanted to discuss about was the merger, because when it happened, I really didn't want to discuss it on this show because I didn't really understand the implications or what the heck. And I think at this point now, the implications are starting to show, because the whole company together, UFC and WWE, I don't really understand it perfectly, but the way I understand it is they're one company now and they merged for some reason. I don't see the benefit of this personally, and I don't know why Vince would have done this. I don't get it. I just don't understand it. I guess there was business benefits, but how could you just give away? He gave away his company basically. He's not in control anymore. He's not in control of the WWE side. Someone else is. Ari Emanuel, I guess is the name I'm hearing a lot. Yeah. Is the president of everything combined. And They wanted Vince out as creative because he just has a bad reputation of, changing things up at the last minute and things not making sense really greatly sometimes. Although he has a great booking record also, but he's been pushed out. And so now it's becoming apparent how this is all going to shape up. What do you think of the sale? What do you think of Vince selling the company? Basically, he's still part of it in a way, but he doesn't have complete control. So
no,
at this point, it's over. What we used to know as WWE and Vince McMahon being the owner of it is over. So.
Has there been a difference in programming? I don't see any difference.
There's no difference in programming, but I'm just thinking of it from Vince McMahon's point of view. Why would you want to not have control of your company? Don't you have any pride? Like, dude, you want to have a company that's yours.
He's an old man.
What was the point of the merger?
I'm sure he gets a fat check.
That's it? Sure just the money? Yeah, he got $3 billion in stocks or something like that.
Well, dude, he's an old man. It makes sense for him. It makes sense probably for the company. Now they need to get a TV deal, for their TV deal. Yeah, it's fine. He doesn't have full control anymore, but it was bound to happen anyways because he was getting older and things like that. So I don't think, unless there's something that happens specifically to the product, that becomes just crazy, I don't see it as a big deal at all. And as far as Vince not having a role in creative, well, that's probably a good thing, honestly. He's not really that great as far as booking, historically. Yeah, he's had some moments, probably, but in reality, he's not really a booker. He doesn't know how to book wrestling. I'm sorry. He's a good promoter of things, and that's what his strengths are, a businessman and a promoter. But as far as booking wrestling, that takes a different type of skill. And he's never really been good at that. And you could see he's never been good at that for most of the time in WWE, especially in the 90s. And after the Attitude Era. The Attitude Era is not really a credit to him, you know. It fell in his lap. They went crazy. He kind of told the wrestlers to you know, I don't know what the hell is going on. I need some help here. You guys got to figure it out for yourselves. How do we start beating WCW? And that's what happened. They started just being a little bit more aggressive, more like to their characters, more realistic. And that has nothing to do with him. So any credit that goes to him for the booking side, to me, is almost nil. He's not a great creative booker. I've always felt that way. His strengths lie in promotion. He's a great promoter. He's a great businessman. He's a smart fucking guy. He's not crazy like Tony Khan. You know, he's not absolutely nuts. He's an old school business guy. And that's where his strengths are. As far as booking, you know, maybe he's come up with some good ideas throughout the years. I mean, he's been involved with so long, you would think, right? I don't really know which ideas are specifically his. I know he's always had guys that work for him, guys like, you know, Pat Patterson and all those other agents that have worked with him that have probably come up with most of the ideas, to be honest with you. So I don't think his strengths lie in that, and I don't think it matters that he's in creative or not. You know, I think Triple H probably being creative makes the most sense at this point of both of their lives. Triple H is younger. Yeah, I know somebody's going to say, well, Triple H almost had a heart attack and he almost died himself. Well, sure. But he seems to be fine now and he's most likely going to outlive Vince, right? You would think. So, you know, I think it's fine that things are the way they are. And Vince is just going to still have a big say in things and collect his money at this point, and it's fine.
All right.
And he still has a big say. So I don't think it's a big deal. I know I went on this rant, you know, like I'm hating on Vince McMahon. I don't think I'm hating on him. I gave him full credit for where his strengths are. He's a great businessman and a great promoter of things. He's just not a good booker, and so it's fine that he's not creative.
I mean, yeah, it's fine from our end. I don't really mind. I'm just thinking about it like if I was Vince, I would be pissed off, and I don't think this is what he bargained for or what he expected.
He knew exactly what it was.
I can't imagine. I can't imagine that he's like.
Do you think when the deal happened, he didn't realize what was happening? Of course he knew. He's not an idiot. Unless you say he's out of his mind. He just woke up the next day, and the next week he's like, "Oh my God, I don't have control of my company." Of course, they've been planning this for many, many months, maybe years. It's not like something that they just woke up the day later or the week later, like, "Oh my God, I don't have control of my company anymore."
All right. Well, if he knew that he could possibly get pushed out of creative with the new management and the new hierarchy, okay. But I still don't see why he would sell the company then. Just because we've never talked about this on the show, it's first time. I'm just saying, it just doesn't make any sense to me. Why would you fucking want to sell the company or not have the power anymore, not have full control? Like, just keep it. Like you said, he's an old man. What the fuck do you need billions and billions of dollars for? You own WWE. You've always owned WWE. It was your father's company. Okay, Stephanie or Shane don't want it. Somebody wants it. Give it to somebody. Give it to like Austin Theory or something.
No, he just gave it to somebody. They merged with a huge company.
No, he should have gave it to someone. Should have gave it to someone close to him. Like he should have had a protege, like a son, like a
Hornswoggle.
So yeah,
he should have given the whole company to Hornswoggle.
All right,
Jeez.
Fine.
Okay. Well,
I got your point of view about it.
Yeah, I don't think it's a big deal. Is the bottom line. I think it was bound to happen. These things in business, companies merge. Like these huge companies merge all the time, and it's just part of the business. WWE was so big now that it's now, you know, you could merge with another company like this, and I think it'll be fine.
I just don't see. I don't see the freaking point. The big thing I heard was, oh, since you have two companies now, you don't have to have like two accountants. or two marketing guys or whatever. You could just have one. So that's the thing. You save money. It's all about money. They already have billions, and they're thinking of more ways to make more money. Like, get out of here with the money, dude. Stop it, dude. Stop it. You have enough money. Okay.
Look, I'm not sure. Well, I admit, like, I'm out of my depth. I don't know, but I'm sure Vince, being the businessman that he is, it must have made sense business-wise to make this merger. I don't know. I don't.
Okay, it makes sense business-wise.
Understand it.
It made him money.
Yeah.
He's already made money.
No.
Okay, it makes sense business-wise, but his business is doing fine. They're a $1 billion company. Like, they've been doing great. They're on a roll.
Yeah.
I don't get it. My mind is blown. My mind is blown. But I would never give up WWE.
For some reason, mine isn't. I don't know.
I'd never give up WWE if I had WWE. If my children didn't want it, then I'd find like my nephew or somebody who wants it. You know?
Yeah, you say that now, but not if you've had it for like 55 years and you're in your 80s. Sure, it sounds great when you're in your mid 30s, but when you're almost 80 years old, I think you're looking at some other aspects of things. So I can see it from Vince's point of view as well.
Okay, well, let's move on from that. We got modern wrestling to talk about, modern shows.
I'd rather talk about this, honestly, but fine. Let's move on. You're right. These first two subjects are actually quite interesting and quite good. Now we have to talk about AEW. I think
we'll start with WWE first before we get to the main event, AEW. Let's start with some things that happened on Raw. A couple of things.
Sure.
There was a tag title change at Fastlane, right?
That's right.
And we had this discussion about how you said, I think it's okay because Cody now gets a path to SmackDown with the undisputed tag team titles and a path to Roman Reigns, right?
Yeah, I did say that.
And then the next week on Raw, the Judgment Day got a rematch, and they basically lost their titles at 1 week. Was it 1 week later or a little more than a week later?
Maybe 2 weeks, maybe 2 weeks later.
2 weeks. Okay, so this was the match. It was Jey Uso and Cody Rhodes against the Judgment Day on Raw. It was a good match, kind of a long match. But I'll just skip to the ending and the booking to see what happened. And it was Jimmy Uso came out of nowhere when Jey Uso was gonna kind of take over the match, it seemed, and gonna go on a roll to win. Jimmy came out of nowhere after on SmackDown. Roman enlisted him to get the titles off of them. I thought they might have a match with them. I thought they might lead towards a Cody and Jey Uso versus Jimmy and Solo match, but no, they just ended up costing them this match, and Jimmy is there kind of to gloat, and Finn Balor's there to celebrate. So they got the Judgment Day. This is a scene we've seen a couple times now of them gloriously holding a bunch of title belts, and Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso are left to be dejected, and they worked hard. They had a few title defenses. I know they defended it once on SmackDown, but
yeah, they had a couple.
Anyways, let's discuss this booking now. Now, how does Cody get to Roman Reigns?
I'm actually dead. I don't know. I don't have an answer for that. I don't know where that. I'm kind of surprised that they lost. I have to be honest. So I don't really know where it's all leading. I was kind of with you. In your thinking at the very least, that I thought it was going to lead to Jay and Cody taking on maybe Jimmy and Solo, but then eventually somehow lead to Cody and Roman down the line. I guess it could still happen with Cody and Roman, but I just don't know how we get there after now that they don't have the tag belts, and I guess they can't go. He can't go from Raw to SmackDown, right? Technically anymore. When you're the champions, I guess you can go to any show. That's the rule that they made. But now he's not the champion anymore, so I don't know where that leads him. I don't know. I'm as baffled by it as you are, because they had that stare down, right? On that.
Yeah, it made sense. It all made sense a little bit. They were like, okay, we're leading to this. That's kind of cool, but
I didn't see today's SmackDown, so I don't know if anything was talked about as far as that goes or anything like that. But I'm just saying, for me, I also agree with you. It doesn't completely make sense in how we get to where we really need to go, right? Which is Cody and Roman, which was something we all want to see. again, and hopefully we have the right result this time. But we don't really know how we're going to get there at this point.
I guess he could just win the Royal Rumble, and we'll
that would be that would be the one way for sure that he gets it. But he already won the Rumble last time, so are they going to have him win again? I guess they could. Why not? People have won the Royal Rumble back-to-back times, right? Is that Alora or something? Oh, is that Alora?
Yeah, she's at my feet. I accidentally almost kicked her, but yeah, she got up. Yeah, let's let Alora have an appearance on the show. She hasn't been on the show in a little while.
Yeah. Let her come up. Let her have her say a few words. Hey, baby. Oh, cutie.
Say hello. What's up?
Hello.
She don't know what the hell's going on.
Well, it's all right.
All right. Anyways.
She's the Tony Khan of dogs. It's okay.
What? Why is she the Tony Khan of dogs?
You said she doesn't know what's going on. It made me think of Tony Khan.
Oh, she doesn't. Yeah, she's on the show, but she doesn't know what's going on. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Well, obviously, all right. She's so
surprising booking. I think people were kind of surprised that it just the titles are getting ping ponged back and forth a little. I guess it could get ping ponged back again if they're gonna have a third match.
Maybe they have a rematch and win, and maybe they win again. But that's kind of dumb. You don't want to just keep, like you said, ping pong the tag team titles like that. I don't know. I guess we'll see what happens. Maybe what you said also is right. He's gonna have to win the Royal Rumble again, and that'd be the only way. But
yeah, maybe that whole thing was just to have that one segment where they faced off, all dramatic.
Yeah,
and then
it's like some sort of tease, but it doesn't lead to anything for quite a long time, possibly.
All right. Well, the only other thing on Raw, I guess that I hesitate to mention it. I don't even really want to mention it, but it's Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre, and Drew McIntyre has been helping Seth Rollins keep his title by keeping Judgment Day from cashing in on him. So they're going to have a fair match at Crown Jewel. And for the world, I know we've discussed that this World Heavyweight title is kind of a bad idea in general. We don't like it. Yeah. But for the sake of the show, let's just play along with this. This is a World Heavyweight title match. Do you have any feeling that Drew McIntyre could win at Crown Jewel?
No.
I think he should. Zero. I think he should go over. Technically, based on how strong the characters are on the show, I think Drew McIntyre is the stronger fighter. But I don't know. I think it'll be weird. I think it'll be interesting to see how they make him lose if he loses. I don't think they want Drew McIntyre to go out clean. He's still an asset to them, even though he hasn't been like at the top of the card. He beat Lesnar at WrestleMania for the title. He almost beat Roman. He's one of the guys that they said should have beat Roman if there wasn't interference. So they obviously make him look strong.
Sure.
So I could see him beating Seth Rollins, but you don't think so, huh?
No, I don't. But he did have, he finally cut a decent promo. He talked about kind of the same things you were just talking about, how he beat Brock Lesnar for the title, but that was during COVID, during the pandemic when it first started. So he was the champion in front of the empty crowd. He never really got to experience winning in front of whatever it is, 80,000 people, 70,000 people. They discussed all that, talked about how he was screwed over by the bloodline.
Yeah, that he was screwed over by the bloodline. That was a big thing. He can't let it go.
Yeah, he can't let it go. He can't get over it. Things like that.
Yeah, so it was a decent promo. Like, you're right. It's some good fire in it.
Yeah, it was probably the best promo he's cut in a while. And this is probably, I'm not saying anything about him as a worker, or obviously, no, I think Rollins is a good worker. I just, I don't care about a lot of the stuff that he's in. It seems very secondary and things like that. So it has nothing to do with their work. It's just nothing really captivating about this at all for me.
Okay. And you think Rollins is going to go over?
Yeah, I do.
Clean?
I do.
You think he's just going to beat him clean? I don't see who could get involved. The Judgment Day, I guess.
The Judgment Day could.
There could be a cash-in, I guess, at Crown Jewel. That's a possibility.
True. I wouldn't mind that as well.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing Damian Priest with a little run with the title, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think that's all I really wanted to discuss from the WWE side. Like you said, we didn't watch SmackDown. We're recording this show on the day it happened, so we didn't really have time to take it in. So we'll leave that for next week's show.
Right, and we obviously already reviewed the previous SmackDown, right? We did.
Yeah,
yes.
we did. So that was the whole LA Knight, the beginning of LA Knight's feud with Roman Reigns, and
Correct. That should be interesting. Yeah, I'm curious what happens with that this week. That should be pretty good.
Yeah, I watched some of it, but we'll save it for next week. We'll save the discussion for next week. So let's move on to, we're going to discuss Dynamite and Collision. So Collision is from Saturday, October 14th. And I kind of got the feeling when I was watching it at the time that the overall feeling that I'm liking this show. I thought it was kind of good. I thought there was a lot in it that was entertaining me. I wasn't
this
really
is Collision or Dynamite? Which
Collision. So I liked Collision more than Dynamite.
Yeah.
But we'll go through each one. Let's see what happened. So let's start with Collision, October 14th, 2023. Can't believe it's already 2023. But it started with, 2023 is almost over, man.
Yeah,
Jesus.
over. Yeah.
So,
it's almost 2024.
Screwed up.
You're thinking, I can't believe it's 2024.
I cannot believe it's 2024. I can't believe it's 2023, man. This is nuts. When it was 1999, you ever thought we would get here? I didn't think. But
that's true.
I couldn't even fathom it. So that started with Edge coming out. So good start, okay?
Yeah. I mean,
that's already a strong start. Okay. So he comes out. He's talking about everything that Christian said at Dynamite, which was like a lot of bad things about his wife and his children that he's the godfather of. But he's like, I'm gonna be your real father and all this stuff. So immediately, once he mentions Christian's name, Christian's music hits, and a lot of random people come out that were like, what the heck is that? But it's security. So he comes out with a lot of security, and which is hilarious because he did say a lot of bad things to Edge. So he's going to come in with like a wall of security. And he's going to come in, they're going to form a wall in front of him and blockade him from Edge. So this is hilarious. This is great. I'm already on board with this. On a day where I'm ready to rip on AEW for the horrible hard times in my life, so far I don't have anything bad to say.
Yeah.
I'm liking this so far. Edge and Christian. Okay. So Danielson comes out because he's going to be fighting Christian tonight on Collision. Main event. It's Christian Danielson. That's a great solid booking. So he comes out to address Christian, excuse me. And I think there's going to be a parade of people coming out at this point. It's going to be like whose music hits next? Ricky Starks. So Starks and Big Bill won the tag team title. Starks comes out. He's just like, you guys are wasting my time. This is Ricky Starks' time, which I like that, right? That's kind of cool. Makes him kind of feel like a star. So he comes out, tells everyone. Oh, by the way, did you see this exchange with Edge and
I did.
Ricky Starks, which was a little funny. But the thing I don't understand about it is why Edge was giving him such a hard time. Like, isn't he there to kind of put the young guys over and help them look good, maybe? Like, why was he trying to bury Ricky Starks here? But I think I heard that Ricky Starks said something about him. He called him, like, bug-eyed or something. And then Edge went at him with, like, the insults really heavy. But it was an insult battle. It looked kind of legit, and it kind of flustered Ricky Starks. He stuck with it. He didn't like fall apart, but it didn't make him look as cool as he kind of could have. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So, I don't know if you had any thoughts like this when you were actually watching it at the time.
I did. I saw that, and I was like, well, yeah. I mean, it's one thing after like going after the heel, face going after the heel, but yeah, it seemed to take a little bit of a personal route. Like maybe they were improvising, which is okay sometimes, but you know, it depends on what story you're trying to tell here.
I think they should be trying to tell the story of Starks being a star because they need a freaking star at this point. I don't think
I agree.
Edge.
I agree.
So okay, but that's my thought on that. Let's move on with the segment because I think more people come out. It's FTR, right? So apparently we heard they had to drop the titles because they were injured, but they're right back here a week later getting physical, as we're going to see. So, okay, I don't get that. Makes me kind of feel more like that was just a booking decision to give the titles to Starks and Bill. But, okay. And then how does this segment ends? I think all the good guys take out the security and the bad guys kind of bail out.
Powder out, right?
Yeah, so that it was a good start to the show that set up the main event and a bunch of other things. The tag title picture, Edge and Christian. Okay, so far I'm digging it. I don't really have much bad to say. I don't know if you got anything to say.
No, this was fine. This was all fine.
Okay. All right. Well, moving along. Let's see what they got next. Here's Christian and everybody taking off. Okay, so MJF is now a spokesperson against Jewish hate. Like Jewish people getting bullied and, hate crimes and stuff like this. But okay, the thing I thought about this is all great and everything. Obviously, it's a good message, but it's MJF. Right? Come on.
Yeah.
Come on. Come on.
I'm wondering if this is because some of the criticism they took from that skit, or the interview, with
Juice Robinson when he was going to hit him with quarters.
Quarters.
Like the same way he was bullied when he was a kid.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is a response to that. This seems like something that was planned already. But
I don't know what I think. Well, obviously, somebody could just say it's a response to obviously what's the stuff going on in the Middle East and all that. We're not going to talk about that, but I'm just going to say that it could be a response just simply of that, which is fine. But you're right. Every time you see MJF's face, you kind of just like it makes you chuckle. He's there with some athletes and the Patriots owner Robert Kraft, and it's just like, what is this scumbag doing there?
Well,
that's
okay.
Is that my scumbag or is that not my scumbag?
Let me ask you like a general wrestling thing, because he was a heel, the worst, about as bad a heel as you could be. For a long stretch, years, and then they switched him face, and now he's completely a face. Like even Tony Schiavone is like completely on his side, which
correct.
They did this kind of quick, like for a guy like MJF to turn from heel to face. I think people kind of forgave him. It seemed to me a little quickly and got on his side. And I know there was a whole thing about Adam Cole being popular, and he just kind of latched onto that popularity, as his friend on the show. But
I don't think it's really that. I mean, partly was that. I think it's just that people really dig MJF and they'd rather cheer him than boo him. And this was just give them a reason to. But do I agree with it booking wise? No, not really. I've said this is the last couple things, even though the Adam Cole thing was hailed or at least thought of in good terms, I didn't really particularly like it. I know they had that that match, and obviously people were interested in that match they had at the Wembley pay-per-view, but still it's really been poor storytelling and booking, and it's pretty much the worst thing MJF's been involved with probably since the beginning of AEW.
All right, well, listen, we'll get to that more later on. We're gonna discuss this. The thing I want to discuss from this segment is more like, was it too soon since he turned face that everything that he did as a heel is still kind of fresh in people's minds for him to be doing something like this?
Because I just said people want to cheer this guy. They do, because they know that he's the best. He is the best. He's by far the best. It's not even close. Like on that roster, in that. But the problem is there's a lot of things holding him back, and it's mostly everybody else that works there. That's why he needs to go on and go to WWE. But as far as it's not, because like I said, people that everybody just wants to cheer for this guy for different reasons. But
okay, if you want to cheer for him because you think he's a good worker, but I'm just saying, how does it make sense, just marketing wise and logistically, that he was such a horrible bad guy to a lot of people and said so many bad things to people that you could use him like this to be like an ultra face in real life and send him to be
hold on.
Face
who else would you use? He's the one known really Jewish wrestler.
Well, I don't know that. I'm just saying, like, it doesn't look like it makes sense to me. I don't know. I'm not saying don't do it at all, but
I think it's fine in this.
What if he was a heel right now? What if he was a heel at this minute?
Yeah, sure. You're definitely you're breaking kayfabe there, and it's
okay. So if you turn face in the wrestling business, people just kind of, I guess it's true. People just forget about all the things you did as a bad guy. Like once you have that moment where you turn face and you help the good guy beat up the bad guy, now you're on his side, so they're gonna just forgive you for everything. So
yeah,
okay,
I mean,
but that always didn't sit right with me. No matter what era of wrestling I was watching.
Well, sure, but what about like when Hogan turned face again after he was
NWO? Yeah, that was horrible.
Yeah.
That sucked. I never bought him again as a face. I always thought it was really stupid. I never.
So you're saying you could never go back to being a face once you turned heel?
You could, but like sometimes it's too much. That's been an issue in the past, that you go back and forth too much.
But not in Hogan's case, I don't think. I don't think you could say that he's like gone back and forth. He's usually been a face the majority of his career, except for the run with the NWO. So yeah, I don't know.
No, Hogan went back and forth too much. He was a face, then a heel, then a face again in '99. Then when he went to WWF, they used him as a heel for NWO.
Sure.
Then he turned face again, and I guess that's where it ended. In TNA, then he was a heel, but then
and then he turned face.
And then he turned face.
He started face. No, he started face.
You see, you're making my argument for me. So okay, but that's not the point here. But it just never sit right with me when like a guy like Randy Orton will punt Stephanie McMahon and kiss her in front of Triple H, and then 2 years later, now he's a good guy, and they're having a tag team match in the show, and all the kids are clapping for him. You know what I mean? People should remember better when people do bad things, and just be like, you know what? No, I'm not gonna cheer this guy and let him be a face because he was an asshole. Like, what do I look like, a dumbass here? Like, oh, okay, you're turning him face, so now I'm gonna cheer for him. No, man.
Correct. That's correct, guy.
Okay.
You are correct.
So that's one thing I'm gonna rip on about this. I mean, look, it's a hard thing to rip on because this is like we said, a great thing to do, right? I mean, especially with everything happening in the world, and Jewish people have always had problems with discrimination.
Well, I think this is fine. I was gonna say the reason this is fine is because he's a prominent Jewish wrestler. He's probably, I'm not thinking he's only Jewish. There's probably others. I just don't know everybody that's Jewish. But he talks a lot about being Jewish in his promos and in his work, and what type of anti-Semitism that he's received, whatever. So this is fine if they're going to put him in one of these things. Even if he was a heel, I think it would be okay because given the circumstances. But definitely when he's a face, it's fine.
All right,
that's it. That's all.
Let's move along. We got some more to talk about. We're gonna try to speed through these shows. Some things I know we linger on, but some things we might not want to linger on as much. But the next match was Samoa Joe versus Willie Mack, right? Willie Mack. So this is an okay match. I think it's good to have Joe on the card because he's an important figure. He's in the world title picture. He's also ROH TV champion, which is a prominent thing, I guess, for them. And so this was, I'm skipping to the end, but sorry, did you have something to say?
I was just going to ask, so Willie Mack, Willie Mack? Is he like a Ring of Honor guy? Is he Ring of Honor?
Yeah, but I'm new in Ring of Honor, honestly. But I do know the name. I know he's had a lot of history there, so okay.
Okay. I don't know much about him, and he's interesting. I mean, I don't know what...
He's big. He reminds me in that Shane Taylor vein that they're kind of, bigger guys.
Yeah, bigger guys. Yeah, working with Joe. Well,
Yeah, so it ends with a muscle buster, which I think is impressive, that he can pick up Willie Mack like that. So good win. We knew it was kind of a skippable match in a way because we knew who would win. But I thought it was fine that Joe gets a spot on the card. So I'm not going to rip on this one too much. I'm still waiting for things to rip on. I'm waiting for something to rip on. It might come more from Dynamite, the things I rip on. But anyway, so moving along. CJ Perry is in the back. She's getting interviewed, and she wants guys who feel that they've been hard done or whatever or haven't gotten the opportunity. And I think Action Andretti is the first guy that comes in. It's like, I could use your advice or whatever. But she's happy. She got her first client. But this is going to come back in the storyline later on in the show. So I'm gonna put that on hold, and we'll discuss more when we see the Miro promo. But for the moment, I'll get your comments on that then. But for the moment, we have this Danhousen video, and this showed up, I think, on Dynamite as well. So he's very nice and he's very evil. So he might make a comeback.
Very nice. Yeah, great.
Yeah, we haven't seen him in a while. I think Robert asked our good friend Robert a couple weeks ago asked, where has Danhausen been? So we got an answer.
I have to be honest.
Yeah, not really. I'm not a big fan of the comedy. I think it's a little funny, but I don't really care if he's not there or if he is there. Whatever.
No, I don't one way or another.
Very nice, very evil. So the next match, I think, is Juice Robinson with all his boys. The whole Bullet Club Gold come out. Jay White's still in possession of the World Heavyweight title belt, the big blueberry belt, as Jim Cornette calls it. Or the Bang Bang belt, as the Bullet Club call it. I like that too. Still Triple B. But he's facing Christopher Daniels. Okay, so I'm as big a Daniels fan as anybody, but he hasn't been on the show. He's not been very prominent, but I guess he's just...
So let me ask you, I mean, you said you were like the show. I mean, I'm not saying it was... But the opening segment was good, but these are very skippable matches. Willie Mack versus Joe, Juice Robinson versus Christopher Daniels. I mean, everybody knows that... Well, not everybody knows, but a lot of people know that Daniels is just like, he's more of an agent, a creative guy. I don't know if he's a booker, but he's part of he's an agent for AEW. So it's just a filler match that it's like they didn't have anybody else they could throw out there just to fill 10 minutes, 15, whatever it was, whatever this match lasted. So
well, listen, someone's got to do a job for Juice because he's needed to look good. We've been praising him to the high heavens for his gimmick and his personality and his work.
I just don't know if it should be Christopher Daniels at this point. But
yeah, exactly.
That's kind of to do it.
That's kind of what I was getting at earlier. That I'm the biggest fan of Daniels as anybody. I've seen a lot of Daniels in TNA. That was great. He's just not in his prime, and they're not using him. So the mythical people that we say are the casual viewers, which there probably aren't any. But if you were a guy who just happened to be watching for the past, couple months or something, you would have no clue who Christopher Daniels is. It wouldn't mean anything. So,
no. But
the one thing I will say positive about just the Bullet Club being in any match, I know, is the way they're there to kind of bully people on the outside once the opponent gets thrown into the outside of the ring. They're there to kind of taunt and do their thing. So they're entertaining. It's nice to have the Guns and Juice out there together.
Well, you know what though? I don't see what this is doing for the Guns. I mean, to be honest, being part of this team, they're like second bananas to this. So I don't understand. They were part of I guess, and weren't they tag team champions for a bit? And now they're just
I like them together though. This is a cool group. They're fun together. They're friends.
Yeah, but this is doing nothing for the Guns. Nothing.
They're in the Bullet Club Gold. They're in a hot group. This group is hot. This is
not a hot group.
They are a hot group right now. They're in the world title scene. They're in the.
Oh man.
Juice Robinson's gonna
disagree. They're not in a hot group, that's ridiculous.
Well, they're in one of the more prominent groups of the moment.
Okay, they're in a prominent AEW group. I'll give you that. That's a fair statement. Not a hot group. I don't consider them a hot group. I think, it is what it is, but I don't really see what this is doing for the Guns. I see what it's doing for Juice, and I see what it's doing for Jay White. I'm having a hard time understanding what the Guns gained by being a part of this. Creatively, booking-wise, nothing. They were part of the tag team champ, at least, or tag team division before. Now they're just helping those guys win matches, basically. And when they're in matches, they always lose. So, I don't know.
Well, they already had their run with the title. I don't know if they're going to get another title run, but at least they're...
I didn't say they have to get... whatever. Okay,
at least they're being featured. At least they're being featured. At least they're on the screen, man. If they weren't in the Bullet Club, what the hell else would they be doing?
I don't know. I mean, you would... okay, fine. Let's move on. Let's just say that I disagree that this has helped them one iota, but okay.
I think it's better than not being on TV, which is kind of what seems to happen with guys who aren't
Sure.
in the loop. So
Okay, that's fair. If they were going to completely take them off TV and this was the only option, then, I mean, shame on them, but okay, then yes, I agree. This is better than nothing.
all right, well, let's just skip to the ending of this match. Juice wins.
Oh
so
my God, we're still on this match? Oh my God.
Well, yeah, we're still on this match, but it was a Juice
Lord.
victory. So for the
Thank
guys
God.
like Jim Cornette who say you gotta give your guys wins to make them look good. So this is a win. I know it's not a very entertaining match or anything, but sometimes the guys just gotta look good. What do you want me to say? So
Yeah, I agree with that part too.
okay, so that's why I can't dock too many points still yet, even though there's been a couple matches where they weren't really exciting. I think Joe and Juice are prominent enough that they needed a spot on this show. But anyways, let's move along. I think post-match they have a little get-together, and Jay White presents Juice with a ring, like the way MJF has his Dynamite Diamond ring. So they're still messing with MJF. They give him a ring, and Juice cuts a promo saying it was $24.99 at Walmart, and they hit Christopher Daniels with it, nail him. I got that backwards. They nailed Christopher Daniels first, and then they cut the promo. So
Sure. Oh, okay. Well, that's either way. It's fine.
he, he knocks out losers like MJF even without a ring. So that's why he's like, with the ring, he's gonna take over. And so is this where he announces that he's gonna be in that Dynamite Diamond Ring Battle Royal or something on Wednesday?
I want to say yes. Yes.
So, which is kind of they're again staking their claim to ruining MJF's life, taking his title at the Full Gear pay-per-view and taking his ring. By the way, I was thinking that if he does take that ring next Wednesday, that could be a telling sign about whether MJF is gonna re-sign with AEW, because if it's coming off, it's got to come off right now. You know what I mean? So, to me, this is going to be very interesting in a way. I think there's a chance Juice could win just because of that. But although I've heard some rumors that MJF is going to stay in AEW. So
that would be a horrific mistake on his part, in my opinion. But that's. I mean, if it's his choice. He's a big boy. He knows what he's doing. But I'm just saying, if I was him, it's not even a question. It's a no-brainer to me. But okay.
All right, so we're gonna move along. Jay White, I think MJF was not here on this day, so he's not gonna show up to.
They mentioned that throughout that show, if I remember correctly, that he's not there that day. Yeah.
Okay, so I was a fan of this segment for Juice. I guess I liked hearing him talk. I liked seeing him.
Me too.
Beat up Daniels after the match. Little post-match beatdown. I think was good heat. So. It was okay. I'm okay with this. Let's see what comes up next. Oh, crap. My computer is... Technical difficulties. Crap. All right, there we go. I got it to work. So Dustin Rhodes is being introduced for that Dynamite Diamond Ring Battle Royal on Wednesday, so they're trying to promote that and have like a little bit of a backstory, although Dustin Rhodes hasn't been used for anything, and so this is kind of a wasted segment to me. Yeah, I'm gonna rip on this segment. The fuck is this shit? Wasting our goddamn time. No one cares about Dustin Rhodes. Okay, moving along. This is where Nick Wayne here's the news that he's going to have a sit-down interview with his mother and Jim Ross on Wednesday. Yeah. And he gets all kind of mad. He's like, why do I have to do this? But in the end, he's like, all right, fine. You want to sit down and interview? Let's do it. So this is something they teased for Dynamite, so that's going to be an interesting attraction when we get there. Let's put that on hold. We'll talk about that later on. Kyle Fletcher against, one of the guys from...
This is fucking brutal, Kayhan. I don't know what you're talking about. This is awful.
These guys are called Iron Savages, right? One of the guys from Iron Savages. So they got to get Kyle Fletcher in there because he's going to be prominent in the story coming up later on Dynamite. So, I guess they just want to expose him to the people, get him a win. It's a big power bomb here with this big guy, which is kind of impressive, I guess. But yeah, overall, I mean, I think this is another situation of just it's useful to get him on. I can't say it's completely useless. Like this isn't like Serpentico against Fuego del Sol or something, but it's not that bad, but it's not great. But okay, you don't care about it though, I think. But
no, I do
moving
not.
on. So the Acclaimed are back here, and they're talking about how Max Castor has been kind of weird, trying to get MJF's friendship going, his friendship with MJF, and he's trying to offer his help for the bullying. That Bullet Club Gold is and they have a legitimate, logical step that they need a 4-on-4 match, and the Acclaimed are available, and MJF just won't take his help, and Billy Gunn and Max Castor offer to help him act more like normal. And they send Renee away to kind of train him for a second, and he says, they tell him to say something nice. And Renee comes back and he says, how about them oral sessions? Which was her podcast name. And then she gets all offended, like, oh, you're so stupid. Like, I don't know why she would get offended at that. She's the one who actually made the name.
Hey, that's the name of her show.
Yeah, okay. It was. I think she changed it. But
She did.
Anyway, so these guys from Jericho Appreciation Society, they come out and they kind of castigate and dress down the Acclaim, telling them that their gimmick is stupid, nobody likes the scissoring, grow up, And
these idiots are saying that somebody's gimmick is stupid. My God. But they're right. But then it's like, have they looked in the mirror? Type of thing. Look at these clowns. I'm surrounded by clowns.
Yeah, so this segment ended with Daniel Garcia wanting to do his dance, but they got a thing going where his boys don't really want him doing that dance anymore. And it's really annoying because everyone really wants to see the dance, but they're teasing it. So anyways, the Acclaimed will come back in the next show.
Come back. Talk to you guys later.
So the next match, Skye Blue. Oh, she's got a little dark thing going here, right? I think she's trying to change her character up too a little bit. She's got her little darker eye makeup. What do you think of that?
Maybe I think they're going for possible heel turn with her. It looks like.
Well, they did do an explanation a little bit that she got missed in the face by Julia Hart, and that kind of does something to people, I guess.
It does something to her mentally. It messed with her head.
I thought it was strange because the same night that Toni Storm was going crazy and she was fighting Skye Blue, and then Skye Blue was kind of going crazy in the same match, and I was like, man, she should kind of let Toni Storm have the spotlight here. But it turns out she was doing her own fucking heel turn too at the same time. So sometimes AEW are not organized like this, but okay. So I'll take it.
I think Toni Storm is a face at this point, isn't she?
Yes, she's a face.
Yeah.
So, but okay, so they're doing something interesting with Skye Blue. That's fine. I'll take it. But she's facing off against Kris Statlander, AEW TBS title, and it was a good match. I don't really remember much from it, but I think she caught her with her move at the end. It was a fine match.
It was okay. Nothing crazy, nothing bad. I don't remember.
Yeah, nothing bad. I don't want to say anything bad about Skye Blue's work. She's pretty solid, But maybe later on she could get a run or something. We'll see. But moving on. This was strange at the end. I guess there was a little afterbirth where Skye Blue didn't want to shake her hand, and Willow comes in, and he's like, "Don't mess with her. She's all right. I'll take care of it." But Willow is kind of maybe gonna join, maybe, and be with Skye Blue. Okay, I don't know. This is all weird to me. This came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
I don't like how it's being done, really.
Well, welcome to the AEW Women's Division. Nothing really is going to make sense, So this is part of the AEW experience, the Women's Division.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. But we do know where it's sort of headed, I guess. But moving on. I'm gonna move on. Kyle Fletcher cuts a promo. Okay. I don't know. He challenges Kenny Omega for Wednesday.
Correct.
Which is
correct.
Gonna be something we're gonna cover up on a little bit later on the show. Roosh just kind of finally got his boys together. Preston Vance, Dralistico, and like I guess they'll make a comeback. He's took care of
Good.
them, and
Good.
Jose the assistant too. So
Where's border control when you need them, man? I tell you, we need to keep these guys in Mexico. You know,
God.
hey, I'm just saying.
Okay.
I think, do we really need them to come back? I think they'll find where they are. Maybe they could fight for AAA.
I don't mind Roosh as a character, bro. I just don't. If they don't have good creative for him, then it's gonna be useless anyways. But I think he's fine.
It's going to be the case.
It's not his fault though. But I like Roosh. I don't mind him.
Who's to blame for these ridiculous these segments where they were kidnapped and almost murdered and were bloody and I think they killed the people that were holding them. Yeah, there were dead bodies laying on the ground in these segments. So whoever was responsible for that,
Yeah, I don't like how they really did this storyline. It could have been interesting in a way, but
or Tony Khan or whoever else, whoever was directing or who's in charge of these videos, they're the reason that they're dead before they even come back. You know, this is, to me, it's done. Like, you can't do anything with them anymore. They've killed them. They've killed them worse than they got killed in those segments.
all right, okay. I guess I never looked at it that way. I mean,
Yeah.
I was gonna give it a chance, but if you say they're done, fuck it. When they
I
come
think
back,
they're
I'm not gonna even pay attention.
No, you could watch and we could compare notes again and see if I'm right. I mean, but, you know, I'm pretty sure I'm right.
All right. Next up, Limitless Keith Lee. Okay.
Oh my God!
He's facing off
such
against
a horrific show. Oh my God!
Okay,
bro.
this is a
worst.
dead spot. This is a bad booking. I will say this is a waste of time. Although Keith Lee's move is like a sit down power bomb, I guess it's kind of relatively impressive that a fat guy can do that. But
Yeah.
waste of time. Okay, moving on. This is a waste of time. Stop wasting our time, Tony Khan.
Well, the thing is, you can make that argument like, oh, well, like the same argument you've been making. Well, these guys need to get on TV and get some wins.
Well, Keith Lee, you can't make that argument for. He doesn't need to get on TV. What if they're going to use him? Let's see, but I don't think so. They're just going to forget about him.
That's exactly my point. If he was going to go somewhere and do something with it, yeah. But since they're not, who cares? You're right, absolutely. This is a waste of time because we know nothing's going to happen with Keith Lee. It's going to lead to nothing.
Okay, so here's the Miro segment we were talking about earlier that I guess he's trying to protect his wife. He will still protect his wife, and he thinks her being involved with wrestlers and, trying to be a manager is just a dangerous ordeal. So he doesn't want her involved, and anyone who's going to try to get her to be his manager, he'll beat them up too. And that's why he grabbed Action Andretti. So he's going to fight Action Andretti. They actually booked this, I think, for next Saturday. Yeah. So he's gonna sabotage this whole CJ Perry plan that she has to become a prominent manager. What do you think of that idea that he's feuding? I guess the feud is with his wife. Is that what? It's just an angle. It's an angle with his wife. It's the first major angle that he's had in AEW, and it's with his wife.
Right. Well, I'm a little confused because he doesn't want her to manage him, but he doesn't want her to manage anyone else either. It's a weird thing. It's like, well, you distract me, I don't get out of here, but also maybe he just doesn't want her in AEW, and that's the thing. Like, he just doesn't want her anywhere near any. Just get out of here. Don't be around wrestling. You don't belong in wrestling.
It's a distraction to him. Exactly. He's trying to focus and work hard and work out and just have a one-track mind and try to win a title in AEW. He doesn't want to think about how she's going to be in a match or managing somebody and maybe she's going to get hurt or attacked by the other guy or something. So I guess it's an interesting idea.
Now that we talked through it, I'm completely on your side.
I think I'm okay with this too.
Get out of here, CJ Perry, with your good-looking self. Go.
Yeah, it's too hard to focus. He's gonna just want to, you can't have a relationship and be successful in wrestling too, because you're gonna want to be up all night doing the doing the nasty when you got to wake up early and work out. So you can't mix the two, man. You got to focus full stop, one or the other.
You don't think you could have a successful wrestling career and have a wife? Is that what you're saying?
Not a successful relationship. Okay, if the wife doesn't want to hang out with you ever, then okay. But, I guess there's a lot of women like that. They don't really care if you're there. They just want your money. But that's a whole nother topic. Let's move.
Yeah, let's move on before we lose all the any audience that we have with females.
Man, that's got to be like nothing. I should look that up. I know on the analytics it has that. There might be a way to find out, but I'm sure it's got to be all guys.
Let's talk offline and see if we can figure that out.
So the next thing they promote is this match they're going to have on Rampage for Rocky Romero and Mystico.
I want to say something.
They have like a whole video package describing this incredible rivalry they've had, and that Rocky Romero is apparently this incredible heel in Mexico or something. What do you think of them trying to transfer this over to AEW, Vlad?
I don't think anything good. I think it's ridiculous. There's some main segments, some main angles they don't even have these type of video packages for, but they have this for two guys that are having a feud in Mexico. It's beyond bizarre. But I know the other thing I wanted to say, I was at the gym and I saw it because they were showing Rampage from like the East Coast feed, and I was just kind of watching it. These guys had a long match. Every time I looked, they were wrestling for the first 20 minutes of the show, and that was at least. I was like, what is happening in this match, man?
Well, it was like an epic match. Like, apparently this is like an incredible feud that I don't know, I guess AAA probably has some kind of deal with AEW to try to...
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, there's definitely something like that.
Is this AAA? It says CML. I don't really know what's going on.
CML? Oh, I don't know then. Whatever. CML, whatever.
What is CML? I don't know what that is.
I guess it's another... I don't know. I guess it's another Mexican wrestling organization that I'm not familiar with.
So you think this was awful?
Yeah, I do because nobody cares about this. That's the thing, and they've never even mentioned these guys before. So to have them have this video package like this is Austin and Rock or something is pretty ridiculous. So, who gives a shit about Romero and Mystico? I mean, Mystico has never wrestled on AEW television until this Friday, but he's wrestling on Rampage, which is like the worst of AEW shows, the one nobody even watches, nobody even pretends to watch, like only their true diehard.
I've tried to keep up with Rampage, but sometimes it is difficult to force in that hour of kind of subpar wrestling.
And forward through it, try to get and done within 5 minutes, 10 minutes tops, just to see what happens. That's the only way I watch Rampage. There's no way I'm watching a full 1 hour of Rampage. It's insane. I'm not a freaking sociopath, Kayhan.
Well, look, if this match was any good, or if they had a decent feud, I think it does it a disservice to transfer it over here to AEW, where no one is watching it and no one really cares. So
nobody cares about that.
That kind of sucks for them. If there was a decent feud and they concluded it here on Rampage where nobody really saw it, or whoever saw it didn't really care, didn't really know the whole story. So
yeah, exactly.
All right, I'm with you there. I'm gonna rip on that whole thing where they gave a whole video package to Rocky Romero and Mystico. Give that a thumbs down. The main event was the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson against Christian, or as he's known now, Christian Cage. I like calling him Christian. I don't know why. I think it's cooler. It just rolls off the tongue. One name. He's the only Christian to me. So this was a good match. I don't know if I bookmarked any highlights. I mean, that's pretty athletic right there from Christian in his old age. These guys had a bunch of crazy spots like this.
Yeah, it was a really good match. Good work.
Really good match. I think this was kind of a good spot where they were threatening to suplex Christian onto the outside, and he's holding on for dear life. I like that. That was a good move right there by Christian too. Still at the top of his game. Top of his game with Bryan Danielson See, so here's another thing. See, I gotta tell you, I'm gonna give this show a better grade because this is a good main event. And I know there was a lot of bad stuff in the middle, but
dude, the only things that have been good at all are the opening and the main event, the opening segment and the main events. Everything else has been filler.
yeah, you know what? No, the way you put it, it's probably true. But except for maybe the Miro thing, I like that.
Yeah, okay.
So there was a spear and a kill switch. I think this was a false finish, though. So this wasn't.
So.
I think Danielson had one too, though, where he hit the knee, the psycho knee, I guess as they call it, and that was a false finish too. And I think in the end there was interference because
there has to be.
Well, Luchasaurus and Nick Wayne were banned, but Big Bill and Ricky Starks were the ones that Ricky Starks came out of nowhere.
Hit him right. Okay, now it came back to me.
Because he's still, in a way, feuding with Danielson. I guess is that going to lead to another match with them, or what? What's that about? Oh my god!
Well, it looks like based on that he helped Christian win the match, right?
Oh god! If they're going to go around with that in another circle for Danielson Starks thing, I'm not so happy about that. But okay, so Christian keeps the title, and I think they're going to do a post-match beatdown, right? And who's going to come save? FTR is the first ones, and I think Edge too gallops in there. So they're going to take everybody out. I think Big Bill's got to help Starks leave.
Is this the one where like Nick Wayne gets like beat up by everybody?
Yeah, Nick Wayne's unfortunately the only guy left in the ring, so they're gonna spear him. They're gonna spear him. But okay, so that's Collision. You know, I'm gonna give Collision this week a C+. I know you're gonna give it a worse grade than that, but I'm gonna give it a C+.
Yeah, no, it's a C- probably because the opening segment was fine, pretty good. The main event was worth watching and all that stuff, but everything in between, you have to get to those things. It was rough going, man. Some of the stuff you were showing me. Every other thing I said, oh my god.
Well, the Samoa Joe, Willie Mack, the Keith Lee one,
Keith Lee. There was Fletcher versus some guy. And, oh my god,
they were not exciting matches, but they weren't bad matches. They weren't like really horrible. It wasn't like an Orange Cassidy type of thing where you're like, man, this is a joke. This is a joke.
There's only one Orange Cassidy.
There were guys who went out there and did work, and they needed some wins. They needed to make some guys look good. And the beginning and the end was good enough to, like, I'll say it was an acceptable show. I enjoyed it. Okay, so you give it a C-. All right, well, let's move along. We got Dynamite to do. Let's do that. And we'll call it a night. Okay.
Let's do Dynamite.
Let's run through Dynamite. So this is October 18th now, Wednesday. That's a couple of days ago. And we start this one with Penta, El Cero Miedo, against Jay White, the AEW World Heavyweight Champion. And Tony Schiavone, who was on Collision, by the way, we didn't really mention that. I thought that was interesting that he got added to the Collision crew. But so he's on both shows now. But he's really laying it in thick with the hatred for Bullet Club Gold because he's an MJF guy now. So you could hear him talking about how these guys are just bad people. Bad. They're bad. They're just bad. But so their Penta started off with a dive, obviously. They got to do that. He didn't even hit Jay White, though. He hit everyone else but Jay White. This was the booking. Okay, I don't know about the booking these two. The only thing I'll say, again, same thing like Collision, at least it gives the Bullet Club Gold a chance to, show their personality, mess with the guys, taunt them when they fall out of the ring. Okay. Also, the fact that it's Penta and Jay White, they're very athletic, so they could do like a lot of moves that a lot of people can't do. But this move in particular, I think, was a false finish for Jay White, kicked out. But if you look at this move again, man, this would have been like a cruiserweight move, like in a WCW match. But this is the ending. If you pull this off, the crowd is gonna go, "Oh shit!" and that's a 3 count. Okay, that's a fine move to do. But that should be the end of the match. If you're going to do something that wicked, then don't do it. If it's going to be a kick out, don't do it. So this is a situation where I think they're just kind of... This match was a little too long. I think it didn't have to be. So Bullet Club Gold, though, they do win with interference. So this is the part where Bullet Club, at least, they distract the ref, and Juice Robinson nails Penta with the ring, I think. The left hand of God, they call it. And so that's a 3 count. Jay White wins.
Yeah.
Bullet Club starting the show off. This is going to be another promo, though. Another promo that MJF doesn't come out and rebuke. Because he can't. It's just 4-on-1. And Jay White and Juice get a chance to talk. I liked Juice more than Jay White, probably. Because, he's taunting. He's still taunting MJF. He's going to take that ring from him. That's what he's doing. So I like that they put him in this spot to take the diamond ring. I think that's a good booking. Okay, that's cool because they're all involved together. So far, I didn't really want to see Penta versus Jay White. But okay, let's see what else they got going on. I don't know. You want to rip the booking or no? Do you want to rip the booking?
No. It's not.
You don't want to say it was horrible. It was okay. It was whatever. They had. I didn't like the match in particular. I didn't think it was a good match, but.
No, it was not. It was your typical match that you would get with Penta or Ray Phoenix. Ray Phoenix.
Either one. You're saying they're the same. Yeah. Okay.
Well, yeah, they wrestled the same style. How about that?
Well, let's see what came up later on the show. We got, MJF. He was in the back, so he was watching the whole time. And he's like saying, I'm not going to go out there and be stupid and get my ass beat, things like that. And I think the Acclaimed come, and he offers to help them, and then they can scissor afterwards, He's like, okay. MJF didn't accept, obviously, and that's how it ended. He said that he's going to enter that Dynamite Diamond Ring Battle Royal, and MJF is going to have to put a ring on it. So MJF left because that was a gay thing to say, I guess. But these guys,
I don't know.
Yeah, these guys are.
I don't know what the hell we're doing anymore.
So they say MJF, that guy's a scumbag, and
you're
like,
saying
that's my scumbag.
You're saying that MJF should stay in this company?
I didn't say he should. I said I heard he's going to.
I see.
So.
No. Okay, he must know something I don't. He must see something that I don't see.
So I was trying to explain how this segment ended. It was a little cringe where Billy Gunn said, what a scumbag. And Max Castor goes, yeah, but he's my scumbag. So, okay. This is a little... Is this lame? Is this lame?
This is terrible.
This is lame. This is lame wrestling.
This is very bad. Lame, terrible, awful. Anything negative that you could, any words you want to use to describe this. This is dumb. This is silly. This is ridiculous. Why is this on air? All these things.
Well, this has been their gimmick for a long time now, and it's been over.
But why is MJF involved in this crap? Why
you don't want to get him involved in an over gimmick? This is such a...
No, they're not over anymore. They've completely been cooled off. Nobody cares about Acclaimed anymore. Nobody. 0 people cared about Acclaim right now. They have
That's not true.
I mean, absolutely. They mean
you got one
very
right
little.
Here. At least one.
All right, go. You know what? Go scissor yourself with that comment. No, but for real, I mean, I think they mean as little as they've ever meant. They meant something when they were the tag team champions, not these trio silly titles. And that's it. They got themselves over, but that time has passed, and they're completely cold right now, completely.
So Shida, she also has a video package for explaining how she won the women's title, and they move on from that into a match with her and Emi Sakura, who is the trainer of a lot of these Japanese girls, I guess, and that's what she's known for. That she's the master.
And that's if she's the trainer, can you imagine how
Yes. I've never really been a fan of Emi Sakura's work in AEW. I think she's okay, but I think she's a little.
Yeah.
She's one of those where you say she's too small to kind of make it look realistic. Like, she could do the moves, but I just don't think it's realistic. You don't really want to make Sheeta look like she's having a tough time beating this girl.
I
But
agree.
anyway,
and this one kind of long, so she did have.
yes,
time
this
beating
did go kind of long because I'm about to skip 9 minutes right here to the end of the match, and she did win. So I think no surprises there. So this is completely filler and bad. This booking
Very
is bad. I want to rip this booking. Tony Khan, I'm having a bad time in my life. I need better wrestling than this to cheer me up, okay?
You mean you need more than Emi Sakura?
I need more than Emi Sakura versus Hikaru Shida. Come on, give me something. At least give me an angle built up to this. Have Emi Sakura beat her up in the back and lead it into a better match. This was just a cold, useless match just to fill time.
Absolutely.
Very bad filler booking.
What more can I say? That's it.
So
You got it,
I'm
man.
gonna rip this one as bad as the worst match on the last card was Keith Lee's squash match, but this one was this is worse than that. But I'm gonna skip ahead.
Possibly.
Okay, so Christian here has this really long sit down that was pre-recorded, so that's another bad thing.
Well, Edge or Adam Copeland. You said Christian, but nonetheless.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, thanks for correcting me. Sometimes sometimes my brain is all jumbled up. But anyways, yes, you're right.
No.
Adam Copeland, Edge, as he used to be known. I like calling him Edge just because I can't believe if you'd have an opportunity to call yourself anything, you'd call yourself just your real name. Like, I wouldn't, if I was a wrestler, I wouldn't go on there and be like, yeah, I'm Kayhan Barab. Dude, I wouldn't. That's not cool. I would be like the Murderous Destroyer or something. Make something up. That you could make anything cool up that you want. Adam Copeland, come on. Okay, not creative. But so he has this long ass sit down interview, man, and this was so long. I had a hard time. I mean, there was some useful information in it based for Christian and his life and their feud that is ongoing. But good God, this was so boring. It's so dark. Where are they sitting? They're not sitting anywhere interesting. It looks like they're in the back again of some
the boiler room.
Yeah, so this looks horrible all the way through. This just makes Edge look like he's joined Amateur Hour in WWE, in AEW, excuse me. So
he has.
Okay, so I'll criticize this segment. Too long. Okay, people are fucking at the stadium and they gotta sit for 5 minutes and watch Adam Copeland sit down interview. Ugh. Okay, I'm gonna rip on this.
I don't completely agree, but I sort of agree. I mean, I agree that obviously it looks like they're in some sort of warehouse, some disastrous zone. It looks like a tornado hit that place. But as far as like him kind of explaining that, some people probably already know, obviously, the history of Christian and Edge. But for those that didn't, this was kind of beneficial. He gave his side of things and whatnot. Obviously, though, we said on our previous show that we kind of agree with Christian. That like what is he talking about, dude? Like, he just wants to be tag teams again? Like, no, bro. Like, what are you even talking about? So we both kind of sided with Christian, but at the same time, this wasn't that bad. Like, I don't think this was like a complete waste of time, like some other things.
No, it wasn't a complete waste of time. But they could have put this on YouTube. This could have been like before Dynamite. They could have posted it there. It could have been like a thing. Excalibur said, hey, they did this long, extensive interview with Adam Copeland on YouTube. Check it out. It explains a lot. Okay. I didn't need to sit for 5 minutes and watch this. The fans at the stadium don't need to sit for 5 minutes and watch this. Let's move along. We got... Oh, what did he did say something at the end that was useful, though, that he thinks all his friends are going to drop off at the end.
Oh, that's right.
And that he'll be there to be his friend.
Yes, that's right.
So
that's right. He did, but he said that before that Nick Wayne and Luchasaurus are going to turn on him.
That would be crazy. Okay, so Wardlow's here. This is another horrible squash match against the Hollywood Hunk Ryan Nemeth, who actually made an appearance on our show. We talked about him. weirdly enough, a couple weeks ago. But here he is taking the squash from Wardlow. He's going to get powerbombed, and there's going to be a ref stoppage because this is just too violent. This is too violent.
Right. It's too much.
I mean,
dead.
They should cut away from the show and go to commercials because this is just
That's right.
for kids.
They should have brought in. They should have brought in like some like hospital people, some doctors, and like took him out on a stretcher, and then like, oh, we gotta cut. We can't show this. This is too graphic. He's all screwed up and stuff.
All right. Well, look, we get it. This is dumb, but this would have been a completely useless segment if it wasn't for this ending part, which is Tony Schiavone coming out and talking to Wardlow, asking him, "What's your deal?" And he has a MJF written on his wristband, so he wants MJF, I guess, which is interesting. So that throws another card into the deck of people who want MJF's title, which is Samoa Joe, I guess Wardlow, and Jay White now. So he's got a lot on his plate. Yeah. I think that's interesting. I mean, if it was anything else, I would have been like, fuck this, like, fuck Wardlow being involved, even if they don't have anything other. And he did push Schiavone on the way out, so Schiavone took a bump. But okay.
Sort of. He took, if you want to call that a bump, that he
fell down.
I guess okay. It was a bump. It was a bump. Yeah. All right.
Yeah. So, okay. Let's move on, though. We'll see what happens with that if they're actually going to go there. But so Kenny Omega is right here. What the heck did he talk about? I don't remember.
Well, he has that match with Fletcher, so he probably talked about that. Talked about Don Callis maybe in his.
Oh, I remember what happened here. No, this is useful because MJF comes out.
That's right. I know.
I forgot about that because I don't have my notes with me. I'm just skipping around on the show. So
sure.
MJF, the ultimate babyface of the show, comes to show respect to Omega. But then, right when he's leaving and he's going to shake his hand, he pulls and he goes into his ear and whispers, I forgot how many days, like what, 13 days, bitch?
13 days.
Some shit like that. And so that's a pretty heel thing to do. Okay, so the guy who was just...
You know, I didn't know what the hell he was talking about, and I swear I wouldn't have until I just got something on my Facebook thing that said what he meant, which was, I guess, that in 13 days he'll surpass his title reign. Dude, who knows this? Who would know that? They've never talked about the reign. They've never even mentioned this. So it's weird that they used this in the segment. I don't know. I found that kind of odd. I found that very odd. It's like this has been discussed or talked about previously, like his reign, or he's going to surpass Kenny Omega's reign. Like this never has even been brought up on their show before until this. Did you know what he meant, like when he said it? Because how could you know? Because I had no idea what he was talking about when he said. Like,
no, I don't know.
What?
Again, I think it showed up on my feed on some social media, like what the hell they were talking about. So
I wouldn't have known otherwise.
What does that mean? They're going to have a match before the 13 days are up or something? Can they squeeze in Kenny Omega versus MJF maybe next
I don't know.
Rampage or something?
Yeah, I guess they're going to have to. On Rampage?
Well, they don't have a lot of time on these other shows, but they have very important squash matches.
They can't find time for MJF versus Kenny Omega for the world title anywhere.
Well, look, if MJF
they got squash matches.
They got moved over by the squash matches. But look,
we have to hold this match for next time because there's too many squash matches this week.
The only thing I'll say about this is if they do end up squeezing in MJF versus Kenny Omega, that leads another clue into my theory of him leaving in 2024 because they got to squeeze in as many of these superstar fights that they could before he leaves. So he'll drop the diamond ring, he'll fight Kenny Omega, have that match, and I don't know when he's going to lose the title, but this is all considering that he's going to leave. So I don't know.
Right. If he ends up leaving, yes, they might want him to get.
If they know he's leaving,
yeah,
they might want him to have a match with Kenny Omega. So I don't know what's going to happen with that. Why would they do this segment?
Unless it leads
in that
to
case.
right?
Hey, by the way, By the way, something I forgot to mention in the previous segment, in the Wardlow segment,
Yeah.
I was going to mention it earlier, but it slipped my mind. But how about Wardlow for the guy who had the mask, the secret attackers, I
Oh.
guess.
Didn't seem like it was him. It didn't seem like that, like a big guy. I didn't see any like huge muscle bound big guy. But I guess they could always
Yeah, it doesn't really matter if it's.
say it was him.
Yeah, it doesn't
know,
matter if it's that perfect, but
Yeah. I don't know. You're right. It could be Wardlow, I guess. I still think it's either. Who did I say? I think it's either. I think it could end up being what's it called? Oh my god. Well, you know, Roddy and Adam and what's that tag?
the Kingdom.
The Kingdom. Excuse me.
Roddy
sorry,
and Adam and the Kingdom.
Yeah, I think it could
Those
be
are the four
them.
guys.
I guess it could also be Christian. No, Christian. No, but what sense would Christian be involved? No. It could only be. It could only be Adam and so that's my prediction of who it is. Yeah, that eventually Adam is gonna do something. But
Well,
maybe now it's being held back because Adam is injured. You know, so that's been put on hold.
Well, speaking of Adam Cole and Roderick Strong and the
Yeah.
Kingdom, Adam Cole is still trapped in Roderick Strong's house, so he hasn't been able to leave for the past couple weeks. Today he's making peanut butter. Oh, he brought him coffee, made him some
Good.
PB&J peanut butter and jelly
Nothing.
sandwiches. They said Adam Cole makes the best PB&J, and
Mm-hmm.
he didn't take off the crust though, so that's when Roderick Strong really got mad. And then Adam Cole blew up finally. He's like, I haven't left in all this time, and I don't know what's going on with Max, and I'm leaving, and I don't care what you say. And okay, so this consensus, I think, I even bumped into Brian at the bar earlier today, and he said this is the stupidest shit ever, and
No, yeah.
pissed off about it. So let's
Yeah,
rip on
it's
this,
so-
okay? So I've had all this anger built up for these.
Oh, you go ahead.
weeks.
Because I've been saying it for weeks. How this is the dumbest thing.
Well, unless
And-
these guys are swerving everybody, like, can it make sense if they're the bad guys, like you're saying, if they're the ones who
Well,
actually?
they are the bad guys, but the problem is Adam involved, and I'm gonna say he
Well,
probably is.
Well, they're throwing. Adam is
But now
throwing
they-
everybody off. He's like,
but now we
wasting
can't
time.
even- but now we can't even get to it because, like I said, what are they? If he's legitimately injured and he needs surgery, who knows
I think
when
he's
gonna
had
come
the
back.
surgery, bro. He's had the surgery. This is that's
Well, you mean in reality he's had? Yeah, sure.
in reality he's had the surgery. He's recovering.
I agree. Yeah, I agree.
I don't know how long all this is supposed to take. A couple months that they're trying to stall for him to
Yeah,
be able to come
probably
back or
months.
something.
Months, I would assume.
So maybe that's why he's trapped at Roddy's house this whole time, because it's just a storyline thing that they can't figure anything out to prolong this and postpone it. So he's trapped at.
No, well,
But
I
these
don't
segments
think-
are really stupid. Though.
No,
They're
because I think they
beyond
were doing these
stupid.
they were doing these stupid segments prior to his injury, so it's not just that. Even the stuff he was doing with MJF, we both said, and I think in one of them, as you mentioned, Brian was also actually here when we reviewed one of those segments where they were somewhere. I forgot where the hell they were in that segment, and we all took a man and said this was dumb and ridiculous and beneath MJF. So as the world champion to be involved in this type of stuff. Now, I know that's what you're going to say. He's not involved in the specific segments now, but he is kind of involved with this whole angle, and he's made to look dumb. And everybody involved is made to look ridiculously and dumb and and things like that. I mean, I wanted to say that they're done, like they've completely ruined all these guys, but it's AEW and it's modern wrestling, and you just never know. But in the old days, this would have been like a death name. This would have been like, these guys are, boy, they hit them with a shovel and literally are burying them, because this is ridiculous. Nobody's going to take these guys seriously after this.
Well, I'll just say that I think I'll criticize the fact that these segments are so repetitive every week. They're still at Adam's house. How long have they at Roderick Strong's house? How many
They've
weeks?
been there for a month. They've been there for
Yeah, so that's why this is just getting freaking ridiculous, man. I'm all for ridiculous.
I need surgery. I gotta get out of here. And then every other second he's still there, and they're playing around, and he's making sandwiches. They're playing with giraffes.
I'm all for
yeah, man.
I'm all for silliness in wrestling, but this is bad repetitive silliness. I guess, and
it's not even funny. It's not even good. It's like, you know how some people were like, whatever. I remember there was like that segment they with Daniel Bryan and Kane when they were a tag team, and how they used a lot of humor in their backstage segments and skits that they had. But that was actually kind of pretty funny, I would say. This is just not funny, stupid, and ridiculous, and just awful. You know, some things are actually funny, like the stuff with Kane and Danielson. This is not at all.
All right, well, let's move on. I can see you're getting tired. It's already 11 p.m., but let's...
definitely. I'm all right. I'm good to go.
Let's run through the rest of this episode and give it a grade and go home. Let's see what else happened. This is something useful. Okay, so far this show has had nothing, basically. Yeah. But Don Callis' family comes out. I like this segment. I'll just say that straight off the bat. He introduces Hobbs. The one thing about the Hobbs promo, though, when he mentioned about Jericho stiffing him and his mom for an autograph when he was a kid, like, that was cool. But how about we hear that like before they actually had a match, so that we would have cared about their match? Okay, that's the one thing I'll say about that. But
very good point. Good point.
Not a bad promo, though. A little weird on the camera angle. I don't know why they're like to the side. And
I don't know.
The same thing when Callis was talking. He's kind of pointing straight at the crowd, but the camera angle's like to the side. Yeah. It's a little confusing. But his promo was good, because I liked the point he made about, most people would tell Hobbs to bottle up that anger, bottle up that hate, but that's not what family does. Family tells you to be who you are. And I actually thought that was a very poignant point. I was like, wow, that's actually kind of nice. So they're a cool little tight-knit group now. Takeshita, Hobbs, Sammy. But what did Callis here just sounds... He looks hilarious. But I think he did mention that they've been undefeated for like the good stretch of 3 or 4 months or something, except for Kyle Fletcher losing one match or something like that. And because him and Will Ospreay have like a loose affiliation, so they used Kyle Fletcher once. And I think Kyle Fletcher got offended, and it came out immediately and kind of got in their faces, and he got on the mic. So you see, at least we knew. This is why I can't criticize Fletcher having a match on Collision, because at least this is a guy that we've seen recently now. So this isn't as bad. Takes the mic from Don Callis, cuts the promo, tells him, hey, I was doing you guys a favor. You guys were desperate. You asked us to help, and we tried to help. And then he did mention how he's going to fight Kenny Omega tonight and take him out. So Don Callis is like, fine, let's wait and see. And that's what happened next. Omega versus Fletcher. So this is not a terrible match. Okay, I can't really dock this as like a, squash match type of thing. Or waste of time.
It wasn't a squash.
This is a decent...
Well, they had a competitive match, so of course it wasn't a squash.
So the work in this match, there was a lot... I like how Omega sells. I think I've told you that before. It's my favorite thing about him. I think I think it's his best attribute, other than his high-flying stuff or whatever. But for the match overall, I don't really know what I could say about it. I think that's another move, a heavy move Kenny Omega just took to the head, just for a Dynamite match. You know what I mean? God, he takes a lot of damage. I'm sure he's going to be one of those older guys that are in a lot of pain. I don't think he should be doing a lot of this anymore. But he did look good. This was a little good combo at the end. He's got a V-trigger, a reverse Hurricane Rana.
I hate that. But okay, continue.
Powerbomb, and then another V-trigger. Look, this made him look like a superhero. Like that little move set right there, 4 straight moves. I think that should have been the pinfall right there. But, sometimes he looks pretty good. He flies around. He looks like an athlete. But in the end, so there was a reversal of his one-winged angel, got put in a submission that he had to fight out of. But in the end, I think he does gets him in the one-winged angel, and he wins the match. So, I mean, this is something. Oh, this is the final combination. Okay, so I guess this is something to criticize because this is the one spot where you could actually tell. I'll rewind it. But look, so there's a snap suplex, not sold. So here's a kick, not sold again. So he's gonna run the ropes. This V trigger he's gonna hit him with is really good, and then he sells that to the moon. So they pick and choose what they sell. The psychology is not really perfect or spot on.
Of course.
But they're fun to watch. I'm sure when you're there, they look like really cool wrestlers. But okay,
this wasn't bad. I mean, they had a pretty solid match. I don't remember anything like, usually Omega's matches are ridiculous or silly. I mean, yeah, there's some of that, as we pointed out. For the most part, this was actually a solid match, and I think I don't know if maybe Omega now, because he's getting a bit beat up and he's a bit older. He takes some crazy spots like tombstones and all these crazy Tiger Drivers 99s where he gets planted on his head. But for the most part, he doesn't do a lot of the high flying as much as he used to. So I think that saves some of his matches, makes it look a little better, to be honest with you. So I thought this was a good match. I thought this was solid. He can be a strong worker when he's not doing dumb stuff, and of course he's usually good when he's working with like other really good guys. I mean, not that Fletcher's one of those guys, but Fletcher's not bad in himself.
Yeah, I just had like minor quibbles about this match. I thought it was an all right match, but okay. So for the storyline, Don Callis was not so happy that Fletcher didn't win, but we didn't really get much after that regarding this whole thing. I think it moved on to another Danhousen video. It looks like the same one we saw from Saturday.
I think so.
I don't know. If there's any differences, it's because I'm not watching close enough. So someone might say, like, don't you notice this? Or maybe there might be some hidden message. I don't know.
Who gives a shit? Did you notice this? Did you notice that? Get out of here. Get this off my screen.
The next match... Oh my god, okay, this is another weird booking. The Murder Hawk Monster, Lance Archer's back. He used to beat up on job guys, so this was his thing. So he's rolling his opponent down to the ring to destroy him. So, okay, so we had a Wardlow squash earlier. Lance Archer squash, this is bad. This is bad. We've already seen Lance Archer. Maybe enough time has passed where people can forget about him, but they totally screwed him up last time. Yeah. And if they're planning on using him, I hope they're not. See, that's why I can't even say anything good about this. At least it's the start of making him look good. Like, no, you don't want to make this guy look good, dude. This is terrible. I'm ripping this.
Failed.
Yes.
Ship has failed.
Fuck this. Okay. I'm kind of mad about this. I'm probably mad about other things in my life, but I'm projecting it onto this.
Well, yeah, you are mad at other things in your life, as many of us are, but this is awful. This is awful. This is terrible.
Okay. Fuck this. Let's move on. Okay, so Swerve, he's going to introduce his new music video for his song, I Swerve When I Drive. His theme song entrance. So he's cutting a promo somewhere, and I forgot where they were. Some spot that had some significance for them or something. But he says he's not happy. Prince Nana's trying to hype him up, and he's like, I should be this happy, but I'm not. And he's mad that Hangman Page has been messing with him since their match at Wrestle Dream. And he's saying it wasn't personal at first, it was just for a spot at first, but now it's personal because you're messing with me. So they're going to continue that, which I was a little kind of upset. Something that I criticized last week, that I was like, why is that continuing? Hangman Page hasn't explained why he's continuing to mess with Strickland, but okay, I don't know. This is a criticism for me too. I don't think they should be having this feud. I think I like Swerve, like how he acts. I think he's showing a lot of personality here and such, but it's just misdirected towards this angle. You want to say anything about this? No, I know you don't like this angle overall, but
no,
fine.
Not really.
We'll move on. Not worth Vlad's effort to even speak. Damn.
No, it's cool.
Okay, so excuse me. Here's another important segment, I guess. This made news.
Yeah.
This made headlines. Sting asked for time on the air, cut a promo, talked about a lot of things, thanked a lot of people, which made people start to kind of wonder if he's about to retire. Thanked Hogan, which was funky. Hogan got some boos. Thanked Ric Flair, which I think Ric Flair had. I don't know if he'd been mentioned yet on AEW TV. I forgot who else he mentioned.
Sting had mentioned him before.
Dusty Rhodes he mentioned. And he mentions that Revolution, right? Is that January 2024?
I think so.
It's going to be his last match. So I don't know if that's going to be a tag match or a singles match. But do you think that's significant, Vlad? And he did say it's for sure. Because, it's never been for sure with Sting. Nothing's for sure. But this is for sure. Okay.
For sure.
The one thing for sure is that this now is for sure. This is my last match. Okay.
Well, is it significant? I mean, in a sense, yes. I mean, for us that grew up watching Sting, I guess it's significant. How significant it is for the AEW modern crowd, I don't know. I mean, at this point, it probably makes the most sense.
Plus, it probably won't even be good, though. Can it be good? Or
no.
It's just a goodbye.
It's just a goodbye. I don't think there's any way it could be good. There's very little way it could be good, But, Sting has done what he can do, and he should walk out before he does something crazy again and cripples himself, where he jumps off the ropes onto tables, or he jumps off ramps. I mean, it's insane what this guy's doing.
Well, what do you think the match should be? You think him and Darby against Christian and Luchasaurus, or Christian and Nick Wayne, or
I honestly don't know.
Singles match, him against.
I think it should be a singles. If it's his last match, it should be a singles. But
against Christian or something, or
I have no idea right now who he could face. I don't know. I know he's involved with Christian and Luchasaurus. Is that what it's going to end up being? But it could be totally different by January of next year. So I don't know. I can't tell you who in that company he should face as his last match. I don't even know, man.
All right. Well, let's move along. What do I think of this? I think, I mean, it's nice that we got to see a little extra Sting, because I think we all thought he was going to retire back when he got hurt in WWE, but he rallied, rehabbed, he looked good. There wasn't really much for him to do in this company. I liked some of it, I guess. It was always crazy to see him fly, but we don't really want him to do that, but okay. I don't know. I hope they could come up with something good for the final match, because I think he could pull it off, but they got to come up with some kind of angle here. But we'll see. Yeah. I guess it would be cool if it was Christian, but I think it's going to be a tag team match. I don't think he's going to go out there one-on-one for his last match. But
sure. You're probably right.
All right, let's see what comes up next. Another Toni Storm thing. Okay, so this time it's in picture-in-picture. I couldn't really watch it. I didn't really want to pay attention to it. I mean, she's great. I think she's beautiful, and everything, and she's very attractive. But I'm not that big a fan where I'm going to sit through picture and try to realize what's going on in this scene.
No, it ain't happening.
Let's move on to the Nick Wayne thing. So this was another attraction for this episode. This was promoted heavily leading up to it on Collision. Here's the heel, Nick Wayne, with his mom that Robert's a big fan of, our friend Robert. So Jim Ross is here trying to make this sound serious in front of these two. Very challenging scenario for Jim Ross, I must say. But he does pull this together. And Nick Wayne's mom, too, which I don't even know her name. She's just called Nick Wayne's mom.
Have they said what her name is?
But anyways, so she's trying to tell him, this isn't you. Come back to us. How could you do this? Christian of all people. And I think when Nick Wayne responds, do you remember what he says? That Christian is his new father figure. He was a better father than our father ever was, or my father. and Christian comes in, and he's like, "Are you ready to go, son?" And I think let me find the clip. Oh, Nick Wayne tells him as they're leaving. Nick Wayne tells him, "You were a horrible mom growing up," and she slapped him. And then she was very upset about it, tried to apologize, but Nick Wayne said, "You're dead to me," and he leaves. And Christian takes his son with him, and Christian says to her, "You should have picked up the phone when I called." So great acting. I'll give her a B for this performance.
I don't know about that. I thought she was pretty not. It was not great. I wouldn't give her a B, but overall, this was an entertaining segment, though. So I can't say it wasn't.
Right when they leave, they get jumped by Darby Allin. So Darby's out there, and they reveal that he laid out Christian. He's fighting with Nick Wayne, and they're gonna fight out to the ring, and they're gonna fight all the way out there. Nick Wayne's kind of laying it into Nick. No, Darby's laying it into Nick Wayne. Actually, busts his tooth, I think, unless that was work somehow. But
no, I think they said he really by accidentally. Yeah, something happened.
So Christian Luchasaurus come in to save Nick Wayne, and this I think. Oh, Sting is there too. So this is why I'm thinking Sting could be involved with these guys, because obviously
he's already involved with them, right? He's
already involved. So there's Nick Wayne fucking writhing in pain, looking like
dying over there.
Oh my god!
But he probably was.
I kind of like.
It really hurts.
I kind of like Nick Wayne. I gotta admit, he's grown on me as a heel. The heel Nick Wayne.
Maybe.
So Luchasaurus has to help Christian escape the Scorpion Deathlock from Sting, and they're gonna try to leave. And poor Nick Wayne. He's like points at them. He's like, "What did you do to my son? What did you do to his tooth?" This is actually not bad. See, I'm thinking there was nothing on this Dynamite because I got a bad sense from it that I didn't enjoy it. But this was good. But this is not it's not a lot of it. This was kind of short, to be honest. But this was a good little segment. So I'll give this a positive. I'll give this a plus. You want to mention anything about this before I move on?
I agree that this was probably. I can't remember what else happens, but this is probably the highlight of the whole thing that I remember. This wasn't bad. They had some. Sure, I have some critiques, but I mean, Jesus, this was definitely a highlight, I guess.
Up next is the main event: Rocky Romero versus Mystico.
No, that's for the Jesus. That's for the Rampage show.
All right, well, I'm kidding. That's hilarious. But okay, best friends are out here. This is probably a fucking shit promo too, man. Waste of time. Statlander is gonna fight Willow, who I think is turning heel. It seems. Orange Cassidy is gonna fight. I don't think he said he was gonna fight. I think he just said that he said that this title was more important to him than he realized, because when he didn't have it, he felt fucked up or whatever. So
good. Go away.
I know. Okay.
Go.
I'm not. I don't hate best friends like you do, but this was kind of a worthless waste of time. Next week, Tony Khan has a gift for Sting.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Okay. So next up is Rock Hard Juice Robinson. So he's in another match. Oh, he's in this. This is the Battle Royal.
Oh, this is the main event. The Battle Royal was the main event.
Yeah, okay, for the Dynamite Diamond Ring. I forgot about this, but the Acclaimed are here. The major guys had ring walk entrances. MJF shows up to do commentary. Okay, so during the match, MJF shows up, gives Dustin Rhodes some money to low blow Juice Robinson. So that actually worked, and Juice sold that really well. Great worker, man. Juice is a great worker. So that was a little moment where MJF got a little victory on Juice after all the bullying. Daniel Garcia not allowed to do his dance by Daddy Magic. Just no fun. So, but Daniel Garcia did eliminate Jeff Hardy, and he eliminated Dustin Rhodes. So
No, but
not
right.
a bad
Garcia
showing.
right.
Yeah. So not a bad showing for him. That's my guy. So I got to give him a shout out. Okay. He didn't win this, but you know. And then he does get a chance finally, and this was the biggest pop of the night. The crowd went insane to do the dance. It was like a fucking mate. It was like, whoa. But anyways, so I was happy to see the dance. I'm going to give the show some extra points because of that. I think we got to see that. But that's him getting eliminated. So the last few guys are Max Castor and Juice. I guess they're the last two. Oh, and then Jay White shows up to attack MJF. So this is significant. And this is weird too. So look at this. I'm going to analyze this for you. Okay? Trying to get his belt back. So he's going to get him face down right there. So go get his belt. Right there. Just unstrap it and take it. And then instead he goes for what? Punching him in the face? Okay, this is awful. And then he does get the belt. Okay. So he should have been more trying to get the belt right off the bat, to be honest. But so he's going to try to hit him with the belt, but he's going to get low blow. And he's going to lose the belt. So he had the belt for a split second. Okay. And that was kind of that. And Juice Robinson's in the ring. He's going to use the ring just like MJF does, and he's going to nail Max Castor with the left hand. I like how he throws that punch, you know.
The left hand of God.
Yeah, I think he does that really well. So he's gonna throw Max Castor out of the ring, and that's the end of the match. It's Brock Hart, Juice Robinson, just like we thought it was going to be.
He's going to face MJF for the ring. Yeah.
For the Dynamite Diamond ring. And I think there's a chance he'll win if MJF is really leaving the company. This is his last chance to drop this ring. So, is there anything afterwards? Anything after the match or no? Let me see what happened.
I think there's just some
laying there
back and forth, people yelling at like MJF looking mad, saying that you're not going to beat me or whatever. I'm still going to win. And I don't know. Yeah, they're just yelling back and forth.
All right, so we did it. We went through Collision and Dynamite. Yeah, I give Dynamite, and I was going to give it a bad grade, but I think there was some things on there that were okay. I'll give it a C, though. I liked Collision more because I think that Christian Danielson match was pretty top level. And but the Dynamite, I think, was there was a lot more moments of why the fuck did they even have this? Why the fuck would you even have this? And so I'll be generous to give it a C just for the Nick Wayne thing with his mom.
Well,
some MJF stuff. Although I criticized the MJF stuff. It didn't make sense to me. But
right.
I don't know, man. Okay, I mean, I might go C or C minus. I'm kind of in there somewhere. You go ahead.
The first hour was really brutal. I remember I texted you and I said this is unbearable.
It got better in the second hour. It got better.
It did get better. It did. I admit, but not to the point where it was good or anything, but just better than what we had been given the first hour, which was some of the worst things I've ever seen. I guess I'd say that this was. I think it's on par with Collision. They were both probably C minuses. They're just neither were like good, and they were both bad, but for different reasons. Just different reasons. There was enough there where it's not like a complete D or F, but definitely not good enough to be like good shows for sure. These were pretty bad shows. If you break it down like we just broke it down, yeah, these were pretty awful.
All right, well, that'll conclude our show today. Thank you for coming on, Vlad. We don't do these Dynamite Collision reviews every time like we used to, but every once in a while we might, I guess. We'll do it that way. Most of the times, though, we just kind of choose the major angles. Today, I guess I kind of felt like with my mental situation and my life situation, I wanted a situation where I could rip on some AEW just for fun, just for kicks. That's what I do. I rip on wrestling just for fun. Hey, but look, if anyone from AEW happens to watch this ever, I hope you know this is just, in jest. I'm very proud of you guys. You guys do a good job, okay? Good job.
What?
Good job getting the show out at least. You know what I mean? Okay, you showed up to work. You know, you worked out.
Oh yeah.
You know.
They showed up to work.
Yeah.
Their 6-figure, 7-figure salaries. What they work once or twice a week.
Yeah. Well, look, I know it's not easy. We want it to be better, but this is what we get. This is what we get.
Yeah. We get what we get.
All right, Vlad, this is a long show. We had some extra topics at the beginning that we don't usually do that, but thank you for staying on with me. Since it's just me and you, I figured we just air it out. But I had a good time, man. You know, once I hit record on these shows, this is the best time.
Absolutely, man.
In my eyes.
It's a blast. It's a blast to talk about wrestling, man.
Hey, back when I used to do the fucking basketball talk show and the soccer talk show, it wasn't as good as this. Like, this is still like, it's not enjoyable to do a podcast, let me tell you, because there's a lot of work surrounding it. So
that's right.
The fact that I was doing soccer talk and basketball talk, it kind of like killed it for me. I was like, man, I don't really enjoy this that much. But I think the wrestling we enjoy so much that it's not even so bad. That you know.
Well, it's kind of fun to talk about.
Yeah, I like it. You know, so it's worth the work. It's worth the work. I think it's cool. I like, you know, having the page where we could go back and see what we thought of certain things at the time, and you know, we could go back and see if we'll look like fools if they swerved us and we were criticizing something, but you know, our predictions. So I enjoy this. I'm gonna keep it rolling. If you want to come on the show with me as we continue this journey, you're always welcome, Vlad.
I don't know. I enjoy it myself. I enjoyed coming on and talking some wrestling, some good old wrestling.
Well, that's good. All right. Yeah, I was looking forward to it today, man. Usually I'm all nervous and shit, but today I just wanted to do it. But all right, I'll let you go, man. Have a good night. Thanks so much for hanging out. It's great.
You too, man. You too.
I'll see you when I see you.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Have a good one. Take care.
All right, later. Peace.
Peace.